Quasi here, and in today's video, I want to share with you how you can pass the tests of life and why life throws tests at you anytime you make a decision to move forward towards a goal, if you're trying to achieve some goal, or you choose to become a new person, or you commit to some decision. This video is probably going to be the most powerful video that you watch this whole year, because if you can truly master this art of passing the tests of life, you'll be able to smoothly move forward towards any goal that you want. So I want you to really stick around till the end of this video and pay close attention to this, because this is a very, very subtle art, and it took me a very, very long time to figure out. So without further delay, let's go right ahead and get started. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about the tests of life. Why there are tests, what tests even look like, and what do they mean, and how you can differentiate between tests and actual feedback that life is giving you, right? So what I want you to know is that anytime you make a decision to experience something that's not in your current reality, in your current experience right now. Let's say you are doing a certain revenue level and you want to make more money, or you're at a job and you want to change your jobs, or you're, unhealthy and you want to get fitter, or you're in a relationship that you don't like and you want to be in a relationship that you do like. When you want to experience something that you're not currently experiencing right now in your physical reality, and you make the decision to experience what you actually want, life will throw tests or challenges at you, okay? Whenever you commit to experiencing something that's not within your experience, or you commit to becoming and being someone who you're not, life will throw you these tests. So what do these tests look like? So a test could be something like an obstacle, an unexpected obstacle that arises. Let's say you start up a new business and everything's going smoothly, and all of a sudden some obstacle just comes up, or some trouble. Maybe you get into some legal trouble, or maybe your ad account gets shut down when it was doing all right, or maybe you were making a lot of money and you were making like 10, 20K a month, and you make the decision to get to 100 grand a month, but then the next month you make less, right? So what happened there? Everything was going well, now all of a sudden it isn't. And it's just that life is throwing you these tests, right? Life is throwing you a test to see how you respond to it. Now, this is what I want you to understand. All of these tests that you experience, all of the challenges life is throwing at you, they're very, very unique to your situation. Please remember this. Every single challenge and test that life is throwing at you is very, very unique to your personal situation. So, for example, a challenge that you're going through, I might breeze through. A challenge that I'm going through, you might breeze through, right? So all of these tests are actually tests to help knead out these attachments that we've created. So by attachments, what I mean is, right now you are at 10K a month and you set a goal for getting to that 100 grand a month in your business. You want to become a 7-figure business owner. You want to go from 6 to 7 figures. When you make that decision, inevitably, as you move forward towards it and things are going well, you get attached to things going well. So now life wants to test you to open you up a little bit to receiving that 7-figure that you want to get to. And how it'll do that is it'll throw a spanner in the works. The next month, just when it looks like you're making progress, all of a sudden it'll seem like you're regressing. And now when you start to doubt yourself, it'll reveal to life that you weren't ready to get to this 7 figures. You're actually only worthy of staying at 6 figures, because the decision, the resolve that you made wasn't strong enough. In one of the previous videos that I made, I'll put a little eye up here, you can click on it. I talked about intention and how intention is actually the resolve in your decision to have something. The resolve in your decision to act in order to get something and to have something, regardless of what you do. So whenever this resolve gets challenged, your intention is shaky. That's exactly what life is testing. Life is testing your personal resolve towards getting something, towards working towards a goal. So that's what I want you to remember. These tests all come as a test to challenge this resolve that you've built up. Are you going to, keep your resolve as strong, or are you going to fall back? Are you going to withdraw? And that's what will determine, interestingly, what happens in the corresponding events. So this is how I want you to think about it. Right now, everything that you want already exists. Okay? The version of you that's doing the 7 figures in that reality already exists. So everything that you already want exists. Okay? The question is all about making a decision and a choice to experiencing that. And when you do that, the shift from your current experience to your desired experience, that shift itself is when uncomfortable things happen, challenges arise, obstacles arise. And it is in these obstacles we actually wake up to the deeper truths of life. Please, I want you to see this. Think about this. Anytime you've actually accomplished something that's worthwhile, there was some sort of challenge that came up. There was some sort of obstacle that showed up. But your attitude in this obstacle was unshaken, right? Please reflect on any past situation that happened in your life. Anytime you really accomplished something and you felt that you'd made it, it was because you overcame some challenge and some obstacle. And it was this challenge and this obstacle and the journey, the path of overcoming this challenge and obstacle that made achieving the goal actually worth it, right? So this is why all of these challenges and obstacles come up. But the biggest problem, and I want you to pay close attention to this, the biggest problem is when these challenges and tests come up, instead of waking up and responding consciously, we fall asleep and get sucked into these challenges and respond unconsciously. We become reactive. In another video that I put out, I shared with you this natural mechanism, how we deal with events and stimuli that are presented to us. So there's 4 layers to the mind. I'm going to put a little eye up here so you can check that out as well. The 4 layers to the mind are essentially, at first, when a stimulus is presented to you, there is a cognition of it. You can discern between sound and smell. You hear birds chirping and you know that it's a sound and not a smell of a bird chirping. That's cognition. Number 2 is you have a recognition of it. You know that this is bird chirping and not a car honking because of memory. In the past, you've experienced this as well. If you were to hear a bird chirping for the first time, you'd be like, what the hell is that? Because you've never heard it before. But then a week later, if you heard that same sound, you'd be like, oh, okay, I recognize this because I heard this a week ago. So that's recognition. Number 3 is your reaction. A natural reaction arises from it. So it's about how it makes you feel, how the sound of the bird chirping makes you feel. For some people, this could be a huge annoyance because they've heard this bird chirping when they were sleeping and they were abruptly and rudely awakened from the sound of the bird chirping. So for some people, they store it as a negative memory. Okay, this reaction is a natural, it all happens in a split second. But for another person, it could be pleasant because maybe it reminds them of being in, a village or like a scenic place where they enjoyed listening to birds chirp. So 2 people relate to it differently, and as a result, they react to it differently. For one person, it produces negative feelings and sensations within their body. For another person, it produces pleasant sensations in their body. So the first 3 levels of cognition, recognition, reaction are unconscious. However, what determines what gets stored in the unconscious is our conscious response to it, which is the 4th layer. Okay, the Buddha talks about this a lot. Your response to it, how you respond to this negative sensation that comes up or this positive sensation that comes up. If you respond to it consciously, now you have a choice in how this gets stored for the future. This is how you reprogram your unconscious or your subconscious mind to experience what you really want in your life. Okay, this is the secret to everything. And it took me a very long time to figure out, but it's truly about how you respond to everything that's coming up. When that challenge comes up in your business and you've gotten too attached to not having any challenges, how do you respond? Do you respond in your natural reaction? when that fear, that anxiety arises because your clients aren't getting results, because maybe your ad account got shut down, because maybe your revenue stopped and you're not making progress. Maybe you compare yourself to other people. You're looking around and you're like, oh shit, everyone else is succeeding. Why am I failing? And you keep reacting, you respond unconsciously to these negative sensations. When you respond unconsciously to these negative sensations, they get stored more and more as a negative reaction. Okay, and then more and more the negativity comes up, and it makes you, the pull on it becomes so strong at a certain point that it becomes very, very difficult to break free from it. So this is how you reprogram yourself to experience new things in your life. At first, these negative reactions are uncomfortable, and it pulls you into falling asleep and just going with your reactions. Right? Something breaks in your business, it's easy to blame something, and it's easy to like get pissed off and get reactive to your ad accounts or like Facebook or like whatever, right? It's easy to do that. But if you truly want to make a change, it's time to intervene and realize that you can respond consciously to it. Instead of fearing the fear, getting angry at the fear, now you can respond consciously to it. You can choose to accept it and respond positively to it and see it as a challenge. And when you do that, you get more and more of things in your life that are positive. When you respond negatively to it, you shift onto those lifelines or the reality that contains the undesirable elements. If you accept it and you let it be, then you move on to more things that are easier to accept and easier to let be. Okay? So this is, funnily enough, how it works. When we get this natural reaction of things that are unwanted, our natural reaction is to resist it and panic. But then we get even deeper into it when we respond to it with more resist and panic. Our response becomes unconscious. Our reaction becomes our response. Okay? Now you're not exercising the power of your responsibility. When you exercise the power of your responsibility, you become a true creator of your life. Okay? When you exercise the power of your responsibility, now you have a say. Now you have a choice in how your life unfolds from this moment forward. This moment right now is unchangeable. This exact moment right now cannot be changed at all, because the present is just continually becoming past. But the next moment that comes up is all determined by your response to this moment. So how are you going to respond? Are you going to respond consciously, or are you going to respond unconsciously? That's the secret, and that's the key, right? So here's what I want you to take away from this video, and here's what the key is. The key is to get to a point where your attention is always under your control, okay? Spiritual progress is determined by the aspirant's ability to shut out unwanted thoughts, unwanted feelings, and the aspirant's ability to focus on wanted thoughts and wanted feelings. The more and more you learn to keep your attention centered, the more and more you learn to keep yourself centered and you stay aware no matter what happens, the more and more you gain the power to respond consciously, and the more and more power you gain over how your life unfolds. People think that their whole lives have become an accident, and they're in a place that they don't want because of some card that was played, that was dealt to them. While that may be true at first, it's how you respond to these cards that were initially dealt to you that determines the rest of the course of your life. I think Bill Gates said this. He said, if you were born poor, or like someone said this, if you're born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it's your fault, right? So that's really what I want you to take away from this video. And to summarize everything, from this moment forward, I want you to keep your attention very, very centered, okay? Become very, very aware of how you're responding to certain things, because you're really responding to everything. Your wife or your husband says something to you, you're responding to it. There's a response to it. And right now, this might be largely unconscious, but the more and more awareness and consciousness you bring into this, the more and more control you have over it. Number one, keep yourself centered at all times. See where your attention flows unconsciously, even consciously. Okay, just watch yourself, just observe. Get into more observing rather than reacting and trying to do something. And number two, anytime you respond to something, respond to it with acceptance and letting it be. Okay? Respond to it in the way that you'd want if you were your ideal self. If you were that version of you that you truly wanted to become 10 years from now. Be that person right now and respond as that person. Okay? There is no excuse. The only excuses are the ones that you make. Right? So, from this moment forwards, how will you respond to all of these events that are happening? All of the tests that arise, how will you respond to it? Are you going to be in acceptance and let it be? And have, an openness to it so as to let life unfold organically? Or are you going to resist it and as a result stay stuck in it? Because as you know, whatever you resist will persist. So, with that, I conclude this video. This was a short one. I wanted to make this one for you as a quick reminder. And, even though it was short and there was no whiteboard in the back, don't get the message wrong. This is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. So leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this, if this was valuable, if you want me to make more videos about this, or if you want me to show you some of my cats, let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, if you'd like to sign up for the free one-to-one consultation call with us to work closely with us to see if we can help you take your life, take your business to the next level, the link for that is in the description below. Now, who this consultation for is for people who are serious and looking to work closely together with me to ensure their success, to help them get to that next level in their lives. And usually you're a business owner who's stuck at a certain revenue level in your business, and what you see is that you don't have a business problem anymore. You don't have a tactical or strategic problem. You've tried all of the shiny objects, you've tried all of the courses, the programs, you've tried all of the tactics, the funnels, and all of those, they haven't worked. You don't have a business problem anymore. You're seeing that there's a blind spot. Whatever you try, it doesn't yield fruit because internally you're not at the right place. You're stuck at a certain revenue level in your business because internally you're not the right person who you need to be to hit that revenue level that you want. If that sounds like you, click on the link in the description below to sign up. Let's see how we can help. The free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.